All right, hello everybody. Greetings from a very cold day in Japan where the temperature is dropping, but hey, we got something to warm you right up, and that is going to be the first live stream of 2023 for War of the Visions. And you know what? Coming off the most recent update, I'm pretty eager to see what's going to be there. It will be happening on January 28th, which is a Saturday in Japan at 8 p.m., roughly probably lasting about an hour to 2 hours, somewhere in there is a good bet, with most of the new information being in the first hour and some tournament PvP stuff maybe going to be there as well. This time they're going to be talking about survey results from a survey that happened on the JP side, and it'll be interesting to see what the results of that are. It'll also be interesting to see if there is any response to the actual survey results, because I think JP players are a little tired of the exorbitant costs, the constant 100 cost units with very little breaks, tons of limiteds and whatnot, but we'll see what the JP side has to say after basically the 3rd anniversary and its updates have had time to settle. But that's not all. Of course, there will be the new unit. So, you know, as part of these live stream announcements, to give people a little more content, because it's just easy to say, all right, well, it's been 2 minutes. I said the live stream date and the time. Let's talk about some expectations for the month of February. Yeah, bit different. All right, so what do I expect for February? Well, I'm really hoping that we're going to see continued story updates. It's been a while since we've gotten a story update. Only one of the more recent, like in this most recent update, have we seen an actual story chapter, which I've kind of been missing. So it's nice to see those coming back. I'm hoping that Chamber of Arms will also not slow down. I'm hoping that next month we'll get some new pieces of equipment, and they'll even be announced on this live stream. The Blood Sword and the Genji Glove were pretty awesome to see, and now I'm just curious if we will see like a continuation and whether it will just be a steady flow of content for that as well, including story and PvP style events. So yeah, I'm also hoping that we're going to hear a little bit of an ease off or an increase in free-to-play resources for players to do around with the reincarnation system. It's been about 2-3 months now since the 3rd anniversary has happened, and we've basically gotten a ton of characters put into the game that can get Dream Enhanced, but not that many resources for free-to-players. And I'm hoping that that's going to be addressed. I understand that they have whales, but the last update had, you know, quite a few URs that were really good. It'd be nice if they could at least offer more through various like events, like raids, guild battles, shops, and whatnot, and not at stupid prices. I know they need to make money, but they're putting out 100 cost characters like every 2 weeks now, it feels like, or the equivalent of such, in 90 cost species. We've had 2 since anniversary-ish, so yeah, maybe ease off the hell, please? But I don't know, maybe we're just in the hard milking phase of anyone who's still desperate enough to play. But yeah, we'll see about that. As for the unit itself, I mean, obviously February is a very clear what is going to be the middle of the month with Valentine's Day units. While the last couple years have been female characters, this time I think we're going to see a male character. Long time ago, maybe some people don't even remember, Adelard was teased to be getting a new costume. So I think that this is probably the time for it. Adelard is pretty popular amongst the fan base and is, you know, more or less due. His MR and Dream Enhancement upgrades, like, just weren't really anything that amazing. So that kind of makes me think that he will be our mid-month Valentine's Day character. I'm not expecting any super 90 cost VCs this month, just because 2 recently feels like a lot. I'm expecting just some 70 cost VCs, and limited Valentine's Day stuff will probably be enough. Also, something to note is looking through this post, there's nothing about a collaboration. So, you know, Full Metal Alchemist is ending right away here on JP. And essentially, that means that there's the possibility that we will get a repeat collaboration announced. February, getting like some kind of repeat collaboration wouldn't be like unquestionable, but it's not a major announcement for this live stream. So if you're expecting any kind of collaboration, it's probably going to be midway through the month. It might have something to do with the rumored Final Fantasy event that is going on. And for those of people who don't know, recently on 4chan, which I know is an absolutely amazing, trusted resource for everything, right? Like, it just, if it's on there, it's got to be true, right? Okay, no, not even a little bit. Let me just see if I can really, really quickly find where it is. PlayStation plans, that's not what we're for. I didn't actually think I was going to talk about this, but now I'm here. I mean, there's rumors of Metal Gear Solid stuff, I'm just trying to give myself some time while I'm... Here it is. So I'm just going to bring this up. Again, this is with a large dose of salt, so please do not take this to be true. But if there was any collaboration, I have a feeling that it will be talked about relatively here. So the rumor is that there's supposed to be a Final Fantasy 35th anniversary presentation happening on February 7th. Again, 4chan is usually bullshit, but let's give this some, the possibility. Opening with a Final Fantasy history presentation, talking about the Pixel remasters, Final Bar line, the Final Fantasy IX remake being revealed, which honestly was in the NVIDIA link, and the leak, I should say. Basically, a bunch of stuff got leaked out of NVIDIA, and most of that stuff that came out of the NVIDIA leak has been absolutely true, minus some dates and whatnot. So the Final Fantasy IX remake almost certainly does exist, and with the show that's supposed to be happening around Final Fantasy IX, more than likely, it's just a question of when at this point rather than if. So sure, World of Final Fantasy II, A Mog of Light, I could see another one of those. World of Final Fantasy was pretty well received, and I enjoyed it, so whatnot. The Final Fantasy Tactics remakes, Stories of Ivalice, War of the Lions, which is another thing from the NVIDIA leak, which basically was I think it's a remake, if I remember correctly, of Final Fantasy Tactics. And that, again, came out of the NVIDIA leak, so it's almost certainly true, unless it was canceled in development. Final Fantasy X-3, which is, of course, the most implausible thing on this list. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Memories, whatever the heck that is, whether it's a demo or the full game, don't know. Final Fantasy XVI presentation for March 24th, which 3 months out from the game actually coming out, seems definitively plausible. And if 16 was to get anything, it would probably get its own showcase. They've also talked about doing a demo, so I could see that being its own event later on. As for online, we're going to talk about this in a second. Mobile, Ever Crisis getting a closed public beta August 8th. Dissidia Omnia getting Xenos, and Final Fantasy Brave Exvius with a promotional video. Now, while this doesn't specifically include Wotv, Wotv is FFBE, so it would probably be included in this promotional video. There's also a bunch of other stuff to do with Eorzean Symphony, Distant Worlds, and all of that great stuff. But I want to bring them back to here for the Final Fantasy Online section, talking about Final Fantasy 11 and 14 subscription Unity project, as well as the beginnings rework project, and a Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn anniversary. Now, while most of the stuff can be is normally talked about in FF14 fan festas, it's not unplausible that we could see something to do with like an anniversary, just getting an announcement sort of thing, because 14 is one of their biggest things, and if there was this kind of big FF showcase, sure, why not? I mean, sure, absolutely, why not, sort of. Now, all of this is kind of circumstance and just hearsay at this point, obviously, not saying it all. However, today it was said that Final Fantasy XIV is going to change its payment and subscription platforms. So basically, that would be merging with FF11 to do with a possible remaster of or remake of Final Fantasy XI, which was essentially data that collaborated with the Final Fantasy 35th anniversary event that was supposed to be happening on February 7th. Needless to say, it's not that far out, so it's not like we'll have that long to wait, but bringing this back down to Wotv again, if we were to see some kind of announcement for a collaboration, it very much could be joined with this Final Fantasy event that seems to be happening. So for people who are like, is there going to be a collaboration? Very long-winded answer from me, but essentially, no. Do not look for collaboration news in this live stream, but potentially there is the possibility that we will see a collaboration announced for then, and I think that would also be fairly decent timing for talking about Global's potential 3rd anniversary, just as a big lead up, maybe talking about the fact that Remake and 7 will be coming back for Global soon. So I don't know, the timing kind of works out for me. You can leave a comment below and let me know if you think this is total BS or not, but I'm just going to say it's a possibility. As for what to expect from the final thing, well, we're going to be getting a new Warrior of the Crystal, at least one of them. On JP, over in the midsection of January, we got 2 updates to the Warrior of Crystal's Another Story 2 quest, which I think right here. Void and Darkness Part 3 and Part 4 were updated at the exact same time. And Vega now has a character model in the game that is fully fightable, and that I do believe he is a Thunder Elemental character, and that is probably my bet for who will be the February character. Continuing on JP's mostly male character stint lately, people have been complaining about not having males. Well, we've gotten essentially 6 or 7 in a row. Let's keep it going with Adelard and Vega. But yeah, for anybody who's curious about this, basically I'm expecting Vega to show up, not Rafu yet. I think that Rafu, as well as the final Void character, will be the last 2 to show up, with Rafu even being potentially the last and the strongest. But only time will tell. There she is on screen now. But anyway, that's essentially the update. So Saturday on the 28th, tune in and find out, and I am planning to be restreaming it, but to what extent, I don't know, so stay tuned. Hopefully to see you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.